This is what is this? What is this? July of 2026 when I'm shooting this. When I go back through, the show started in '89, I think. So there's this catalog of shows. When I try to think of something I haven't shown, there's not anything. So and we've been doing these compilation shows, but because of some nice person that said, I've memorized the shows. I'm like Gilligan's Island. I'm Gilligan, and he's memorized all the shows. I thought, okay, I'm going to update them, and so that's what we're doing. But if I had to teach you, I've got friends that are passing away left and right, and it's dawning on me that any minute I'm next. So if I was going to teach somebody one thing that I learned early on, what would it be? And it would be this. It would be what the last 2 shows have been and what the next several shows, probably the next 8, 9 shows until I get tired of doing it, is going to talk about supersets. It's plain and simple. And I'm going to teach you some tricks because our club, we had a young guy in his 20s join recently and said, somebody said if you want to get serious, you need to go to an 80s style gym. Nobody ever called my gym an 80s style gym because all of our equipment, of course, some of it's brand new because I'm an equipment dealer. But I thought, I get what they're saying. It's the vibe. We're not a box chain. This is not some big giant warehouse full of stuff with a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing. We don't have a single competitor in this gym anymore. We have a gym full of people that are now in their 50s and 60s and 70s who know what they're doing and who still love it. That's what we've got. That's what Jason's Fitness of Mobile. You know, we had the club in Foley. It's sold. It's now the Gym of Foley. And Justin's running that. And y'all go see them if you're over that way. But I'm back to this one club on Cottage Hill Road, and we've been here since 1981. So if I had to show, so the stuff, it dawned on me, the reason I preambled all that was to say, you're not going to be able to do this sometimes in a big giant box chain. Because first of all, it's too spread out, laid out incorrectly. 9 out of 10 times they're just laid out wrong because the people laying them out don't know anything. So what we're going to show you is, as I'm trying to think of these little tips and these combos of exercises, that's a good word, combo, is what you could do to keep some idiot with a cell phone from sitting on your machine after you get up to go to the next exercise. Capiche? Huh? So, because that happens too. You don't see that here. We're going to do a leg extension leg curl because what we're talking about is antagonistic supersets. One of my favorite things. I learned it when I was 14 or 15. If you go back and find Schwarzenegger's first book, he wrote about it. I don't know who all he learned it from. It just makes so much sense to me. And now studies have been done on strength improvement, all the stuff we didn't think it would do. But I even did it when I was powerlifting. It just makes sense to me. So one of the most basic, when we're talking about legs, is a leg extension and a lying leg curl, seated leg curl, standing leg curl. It doesn't matter as long as it's a leg curl. Because what you're doing is you're working the front of the leg and then the back of the leg. That's as simple and dumbed down as it's going to be. And you can feel it, and I don't have to go into great depth and tell you that the quadriceps got 4 heads, and it doesn't matter. Front of the leg, back of the leg. And don't just train once. I see people who don't know anything, and they just come in and train their quads. They just come in and do a leg extension, and they ignore the leg curl. What are you doing? You got to train the whole leg. And by the way, I don't care what some 20-year-old TikTok is saying, the best exercise for developing those particular muscles is still leg extension, leg curl. I still love squats, lunges, Romanian style stiff-legged deadlifts. I love all of it. But if you're talking about isolation movements for the quadriceps and the hamstrings, the leg biceps, leg extension, leg curl. So after thinking about it, I thought that's the 2 I'm going to show because it's the simplest. So here's the trick. I'm going to show you the exercise. It's stupid to show. It's a machine. By the way, the machines I'm showing you on are the ones at our gym. Hoist Rocket Series, still my favorite leg extension, my absolute favorite leg curl I've ever used, ever. So we've got the line version. Rocket, I think, now makes a seated version as well. They also make a dual that we sell. We sell all this stuff. So I'm going to show you the exercise, which is kind of silly, but this occurred to me. When I train in my own gym, I train with my son, Jay. If you're in a big, massive box chain, and this is for the people on YouTube, you may be in California, I don't know where you're at. If you're around here and you're not coming here, you're brain damaged anyway, so I don't know what I'm going to do for you. But if you're somewhere out of the city of Mobile and you can't get to this gym where you can do things like I'm going to show you, here's the trick. Get you a training partner. Get you a buddy. Take those things out of your ears. You'll find them. And by the way, when you're training with a training partner, take those things out of your ears and talk to each other and encourage it. That's what training partners were meant to be. If you will go back into like Pumping Iron, the movie, and see what they did, come on, let's go. That's a real thing. We really do. We still do that. When I spot Jade, I'll go strong. When we train other people one-on-one, you know what? You don't have to always pay us to say, come on. We say it to each other. We say it when we spot each other. So get your training partner. And the reason I said that whole thing was when you're doing this, if your training partner, if you start on leg extension, like I'm fixing to show you, and go leg curl, and your partner comes straight behind you, because what we're going to do is leg extension, leg curl, leg extension, leg curl, because while you're doing the hamstrings, the quadriceps resting. And if you're just talking about muscle development, the 99.9% of the population, if you're not a power, and if you're powerlifting, this works. This is an assistance exercise. This isn't your squat. This isn't your deadlift. It'll work for you too. That's all the rest you need. Leg extension, leg curl, leg extension, leg curl, leg extension, 3 sets. You're done. It takes no time. It cracks me up when people say, I don't have time. Oh my God. Most of our workouts with a partner, me and a partner, even on days where we do squat or bench or do something, it takes 30 to 40 minutes. We're done. And we do that 3 days a week. And I've been doing that since I'm in my 60s now. I've been doing that type of routine since I was in my 20s. So you've got time. And you got a strength train. And the older people, good God, if you've never done it in your life, if you're a 75-year-old woman, my God, it's time to start now, because you will have life improvement. All right, so real simple. I'm going to show you a couple things that does bug me. And I'm as bad as everybody. People do this, right? Now, the Rocket series does this cool thing. Watch what it does. It goes like that. It rocks backwards. If you've ever been on one that doesn't, like our first one in 1981 was like this homemade thing. It was horrible. And our guys would almost throw their back. It was awful. Your body wants to do that naturally. It wants to put your legs in the strongest position possible, right? So the thing I would say is don't explode. That's the word I was looking for. It's not an explosive movement. This is a smooth, bodybuilder-esque, rehabilitation-esque movement. So you start pressing, and I would also tell you, and I've started doing this more as I got older, squeeze at the top and lower it slower. Right? People get off into the weeds about 4-second up, 2 seconds. Screw all that. A nice smooth motion, right? Some people believe in turning your feet in and out. I don't think it makes a difference, but I don't think it hurts anything either. So if you like to do that, that's fine too. I think it's good because it makes you pause at the top. I think it's good for that, because when you do that and you flex, but you're flexing against the weight, right? And so that's the leg extension. The preamble was more important than that. Now, I'm going to go straight over here to the leg curl. And you've got all these adjustments on these machines like that. I really don't know why, because you want to start in a stretched position. Unless you've got an injury, you want to be as stretched out as you can be. You want the weight right at below you want your knees hanging off the pad. The weight's right above my heels. It's the same idea. Smooth, squeeze, lower. Again, I'm looking at every show we shoot from here forward. If I live to be another 15 years or die tomorrow, instead of just filling air, what do I want people to know that I'm glad I learned? And I got lucky. I got so lucky. Reading, here's a tip for you, Gen Z. Here's a tip for you. Read a book. Books are awesome. They got words, some diagrams. Read a book. Get off of TikTok. What I'm saying is this watered down junk. And by the time, a lot of time, it's like that game you used to play and you tell somebody something, they go through, and by the time it got to the end of the line, it didn't resemble the story. That's what I'm saying. That's what's happening. Go to the source. Go to the book. When I tell you that this was done by Arnold Schwarzenegger, I hope your ears perked up. When I said Arnold Schwarzenegger's first book, which, by the way, the title is Education of a Bodybuilder, go buy the book. Read the book. Read every word of it. Read everything you get your hands on. Get off of TikTok. Good Lord. And here's another tip. When you see somebody that's got white hair, I've been doing this for over 50 years. You might want to perk up and listen. It don't matter how big my biceps are. I've read all the books. I've studied in the Soviet Union. I've done it all. I spent my life dedicated to learning this. You might want to listen. If you see a 22-year-old ripped to shreds because he's geared up and genetic miracle, probably not the best guy to listen to. Probably not. Read a book.